This is World University and Schools News and Question and Answer on April 4th, 2022, Monday at 10 a.m. Pacific time in the San Francisco Bay Area. And stay tuned as we see if people join us for this open conversation, which will begin in about a minute. Hello, this is World University and Schools News and Question and Answer on Monday, April 4th, 2022 at 10 a.m. Pacific time. I'm Scott McLeod, and as we wait to see if people will join us for this open conversation about World University and School with your questions or answers or thoughts or ideas about this developing 200 universities in all 200 countries, online, cc4ocw.mit.edu centric wiki universities and schools. I'd like to share a little news with you. I'm very glad that our first class with the CC4 licensed computer science CS First with Google at World University and School is almost there at the end of this first term, January through April of 2022, almost completing the course. And World University and School has developed a certificate of completion, which will be awarded to the students who finish this course, and also with very positive language. It's interesting that it opens the way in many ways to the next steps with matriculating at World University and School. Let me read the language of the certificate of completion, just for your edification and also as a record of this new development at World University and School, and for the recording here, which will be saved to World University and School's new YouTube channel, and another exciting development. So World University and School Certificate of Completion, CS First, Creative Coder. Congratulations, you've got what it takes to create, explore, and learn with code. Mwende Evande, keep creating new projects, show off your work, and continue the fun at g.co/csfirst.more. CS First introduces kids to coding using Scratch, an online tool and community. Mwende Evande's World University and School email address, Tayavan Guo Mwende Evande at worlduniversityandschool.org, for proceeding with coding further at World University and School. Password, and Mwende has chosen this. This is to certify that Mwende Evande has completed the computer science course, CC4 license CS First with Google at World University and School, in the spring term by the last day of April in the year 2022, online from Cameroon, Africa. Signed, Scott G.K. McLeod, President, Teacher, CEO, and Presiding Clerk. Larry Veland, Treasurer. Academic Credit Committee members. Meeting at worlduniversityandschool.org. P.O. Box 442, Canyon, California, 94516. worlduniversityandschool.org. And World University and Schools Twitter, twitter.com/WORLD, UNIVANDSCH. And the WUaS Press, twitter.com/WUaS PRESS. So in developing further, it's exciting to see in the link in the certificate of completion which certificate comes into conversation with the CS First certificate of completion itself. It's exciting to see in the link in the certificate of completion. I'll read it again. g.co/CS first/MORE. That right at the top of this new page is CC4 licensed ocw.mit.edu. So another bit of news is that as World University and School develops in these upcoming months, it seems as if World University and School is going to work more closely with Google. So World University and School's email addresses are in Google Workspace for Education at WUaS. And we're posting more regularly to the social media site, Google My Business. And just learned on Saturday in a Google educators group from India of Google Currents, a social media site that emerges from Google Plus or G Plus, that was a public social media site until a few years ago. But now it's for within organizations, and organizations can create different groups and create further conversations among those groups, posting potentially for learning and teaching as a kind of conversation, in conversation, thanks to information technologies, perhaps within a class or among people who are growing, for example, World University and School. And I'm excited, as an example, to have shared a number of new World University and School.org email addresses with people from GEG India, Google Educators Group India, which should allow a few of us to explore Google Currents further, and potentially for students like Moende, and as they proceed in matriculating for free to students bachelor's degrees and some for free to students PhD degrees. 4-year process, potentially 120 credit units or 40 ocw.mit.edu centric courses. So about 10 courses a year or 30 credit units a year. And in this process of working closer with Google and potentially with Google Currents, I'm glad, having attended this GEG India group on Saturday, to explore further recruiting students from India, first in English, who might be interested in potentially taking CS First with Google at World University and School. And this May 1st, possibly, or September 1st, for a certificate of completion as a way to begin coding, putting computer science first, and as a way into ocw.mit.edu courses as well, which with Google, I hope, World University and School will offer new approaches to these remarkable CC4 licensed ocw.mit.edu courses. So perhaps we'll find teachers, graduate student instructors, to come into conversation with students as they self-learn through an individual course that they choose from ocw.mit.edu, which mitocw.edu website is in change right now. And perhaps alternatively, because CC4 licensing allows for one, sharing resources. So World University and School can share ocw.mit.edu because it's CC4 licensed. To adapt it. So we could add ocw.mit.edu courses, for example, to a template that might emerge from CS First with Google at World University and School, for perhaps more structure, perhaps a focus even in Google Street View with Time Slider, Maps Earth, TensorFlow AI, and not only at the Street View level, but at the cellular level and the molecular level, and even as emerging laboratories. And perhaps Google Street View in conversation with NVIDIA's The Omniverse. Check out the remarkable video keynote by Jensen Huang, the CEO of NVIDIA, which I've posted to 4 different World University and School pages. You can Google search it. I think it begins with GTC, NVIDIA Keynote 2022, Jensen Huang, and Huang, Jensen. And in that, not only is there a focus on I am AI, I am artificial intelligence, is a theme throughout, but also on how artificial intelligence might play out in NVIDIA's planning with all the chips that they make for gaming, remarkable hardware developments, and where World University and School can engage this in even laboratories, such as in Google Street View with the Omniverse, with developing chips for our matriculating students, opens far-reaching possibilities. Other news for World University and School before we close here. The monthly business meeting minutes will come out soon for 3/19/2022, March 19th, 2022. Open monthly business meeting at 9 a.m. Pacific time. It meets on the 3rd Saturdays of the month. I think the next one is April 16th. And if you're interested, email in joining the conversation. It's only an hour long from wherever you are in the world. I'll share it with the people who receive emailings from World University and School for monthly business meeting. I'll share the URL for the video conference. So if you're interested in receiving that, please email meeting@worlduniversityandschool.org and check out the Developing World University and School.org website. We hope to move into further conversation with Google Sites, and in their many languages with Translate and with translators for our homepage potentially. And twitter.com/WRLD, UNIVANDSCH, and twitter.com/WUAS press are 2 Twitter feeds to stay in touch with. Retweet if you're interested with World University and School Twitter handle in the tweet to come into conversation. Seeking potentially to matriculate in the autumn, not only bachelor degree students, but also PhD degree students. There's a lot of choice at World University and School with 2,400 roughly ocw.mit.edu courses. And if you have interest and in working with artificial intelligence or machine learning, such as in TensorFlow AI, or with a teacher, let World University and School know, and we'll see how we can bring further teachers into this. The great CS First with Google at World University and School course allows both a teacher portal and a student portal, and an interesting opportunity and a restructuring of education as a consequence, which opens horizons for, in some ways, self-learning infrastructure for those who enter in the student side portal, including teachers and students. And for those who enter in the teacher portal, there's the opportunity to take a number of different roles with regard to students, interestingly, thanks to the information technology. So that's a little bit of news for World University and School. Meeting at worlduniversityandschool.org is the email address, and I'll post this recording to both blogs, worlduniversityandschool.blogspot.com, as well as to scott-mcleod.blogspot.com in the Global University label. Until next Monday, which I think is the 11th of April 2022 at 9 a.m. Pacific time. See you soon. Thanks. Bye for now.